TomoNews presents Air Pollution.
New Delhi aims to blast pollution out of the air. A group of scientists led by an MIT professor hopes that an innovative idea can help clear the thick smog that plagues India's capital city. Scientists will use old jet engines in an attempt to blast air pollution out of New Delhi's atmosphere. The jet engines will be taken to a coal-fired power station and turned on facing skyward. The engines generate a nozzle speed equal to the speed of sound, which researchers believe will push smog out of the atmosphere. During the winter, Delhi experiences a temperature inversion, which traps pollution near the ground. But the scientists say the jet engines have enough power to blast emissions through this lid of warm air. Around 60% of India's energy is provided by coal-fired power plants, which contributes to terrible air pollution in the country's cities. This pollution is linked to millions of asthma cases, respiratory diseases, and thousands of deaths each year. The level of harmful fine particulate matter in Delhi's air last winter reached 15 times the Indian government's safe level, and more than 90 times the level considered safe by the World Health Organization. The researchers say one jet engine can handle emissions from an 1,000-megawatt capacity power plant. The scientists also say the fuel emissions from the jet engines will be negligible compared to the amount of pollution they can clear, and are working to reduce noise pollution during the experiment.
Ventilation corridors may be China's solution to heavy smog. China's capital city is planning to construct ventilation corridors in a bid to tackle the country's air pollution. Densely populated cities tend to generate more energy and waste heat, resulting in a warmer environment than surrounding rural areas. Measures to curb pollution in Beijing have led to air quality improving only marginally. In 2015, the city had 186 days of up-to-par air quality, up 14 from 2014. To reduce smog, the capital is planning to build ventilation corridors. These are designed to relieve a city's heat and pollution by improving urban wind flow. The corridors will be created by connecting parks, rivers, lakes, highways, and small building blocks. 5 primary corridors, over 500 meters wide, will run from the northern suburbs to the south. Secondary corridors measuring more than 80 meters are also planned. The corridors will reportedly allow northern winds to blow through Beijing during severe winter smog spells. Experts also suggest curbing the amount and height of city center buildings, as well as adding more green spaces. Beijing saw its worst smog spell from November to December of 2015. The air pollution was so thick it blocked views and prompted authorities to issue a red alert warning.
Say goodbye to polluted air. People in smog-filled cities may soon breathe easier, thanks to a new concoction that turns regular mesh screens into pollution-blocking nanofiber filters. A research team from the National University of Singapore engineered a liquid nanofiber solution that turns non-woven mesh into air filters. The filters are able to block out up to 90% of hazardous particulate matter smaller than 2.5 microns. Unlike conventional filters that block out air along with pollutants, the nanofibers allow 2.5 times more clean air to flow through. Their ability to block out harmful UV rays while providing natural lighting makes the filters ideal for windows and doors. The novel new filters can also be applied to respirators. The Singapore team has filed a patent for their invention. They're currently working to improve filtration efficiency and maybe add antibacterial properties.
Smog from Indonesian forest fires may have killed 100,000 people. 19 dead and 500,000 people with minor health issues. That's what the Indonesian government says was the impact on human health from last year's devastating forest fires. But a new study says the situation is even worse, and that the death toll could be much, much higher. Joint research by Columbia and Harvard universities suggests that haze from the 2015 Indonesian forest fires could have killed 91,600 people in Indonesia, 6,500 people in Malaysia, and 2,200 people in Singapore. Smog from last year's forest fires produced a highly dangerous particulate matter called PM2.5. When inhaled, it can cause a variety of serious health problems, including lung cancer and cardiovascular disease. Scientists say last year's man-made forest fires in Indonesia's Borneo and Sumatra, along with their resulting haze, were the worst recorded. The fires were started to make way for agricultural production. Despite being illegal, this practice is commonplace in various parts of Indonesia.
Fertilizers are a huge source of California smog. Don't you just love the smell of fresh smog in the morning? A new study finds California may be overlooking fertilizers as a major contributor to smog. The state currently estimates nitrogen oxides emissions from fertilizers at 4%. Scientists compared nitrogen oxides emissions over the Central Valley with fertilizer application rates and found fertilized soils may actually be responsible for 40% of emissions. Hundreds of thousands of tons of nitrogen fertilizer are used on crops in the Central Valley each year. Excess fertilizer is released into the atmosphere as nitrogen oxides, which can create layers of blanketing smog. Smog can lead to health complications like asthma and acute bronchitis, as well as cause missed school and work days. Luckily, the current administration is environmentally friendly, so we're all good.
Paris instates traffic ban to control smog level. The air pollution level in Paris has prompted the French government to impose major traffic restrictions effective on Monday. The severe smog now enveloping France and Belgium is largely caused by motor vehicle exhaust and factory smoke. Air pollution is dispersed when the warm air at the Earth's surface rises to the higher atmosphere. Warm days and cool nights in the spring cause temperature inversion, where the surface air that has cooled overnight becomes trapped. This causes a smog buildup that can only be dispersed by winds. The Paris traffic restriction, effective from 5:30 a.m. to midnight on Monday, permits vehicles with odd number license plate numbers to drive. Even-numbered plates will be allowed to drive on Tuesday if the restriction continues. Paris's air quality in recent days has been among the worst on record, with particulate levels reaching more than double the safety limit.
Beijing orders red alert for severe smog. For the first time ever, China, the world's largest carbon emitter, has issued an air quality red alert in their capital. A red alert, the highest on China's 4-tier smog warning, is issued when authorities forecast 3 consecutive days of severe smog. That means schools will close down, traffic will be reduced by half, and factories will cut back on production. The World Health Organization lists 25 micrograms of particulate matter up to 2.5 micrometers per cubic meter to be a healthy level. Readings in Beijing were above 300 micrograms on Monday and are expected to rise until a cold front moves in on Thursday. Last week, certain parts of the city hit 1,000 micrograms per cubic meter, according to the official Beijing government website. This is the first time Beijing has issued a red alert.
Airpocalypse hits Harbin. Chinese city blanketed by heavy smog shuts down schools and airports. Smog has brought the northern Chinese city of Harbin to a standstill, forcing the closure of schools and highways and disrupting flights all throughout Monday. The recorded density of airborne particles was several times above the World Health Organization's recommended limits. Visibility was reduced to below 50 meters in parts of the city. Cars and buildings were barely visible in the smog that shrouded the city. Residents donned masks before venturing outside. Local media attributed the recent upsurge in pollution to the city's public heating system, which was switched on for the winter on October 20th. All of Heilongjiang Province highways and Harbin's Taiping International Airport were forced to close.
The city of Harbin in northeastern China has closed schools and grounded flights as air pollution has reached hazardous levels. The burning of coal during the winter, combined with pollution from car exhausts, can result in high concentrations of solid and liquid particles, creating what's referred to as particulate matter. The particles are identified by their aerodynamic diameters and are linked directly to health problems. Fine particulate matter, smaller than 2.5 micrometers, are more than 30 times smaller than a human hair. When inhaled, fine particulate matter can cause extreme harm as it reaches deep into the lungs. 100 points on the air pollution index is considered unhealthy. 300 and above is considered dangerous. Visibility in the city was reduced to around 50 meters in some parts of the city. The smog has been linked to the starting up of the city's coal-burning public heating system.